Canada intends to recognize the State of Palestine at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in September 2025. This intention is predicated on the Palestinian Authority's commitment to much-needed reforms, including commitments by the Palestinian Authority's President Abbas to fundamentally reform its governance, to hold general elections in 2026 in which Hamas can play no part, and to demilitarize the Palestinian state. Canada reiterates that Hamas must immediately release all hostages taken in the horrific terrorist attack of October 7th, that Hamas must disarm, and that Hamas must play no role in the future governance of Palestine. Canada will...
Sounds good, doesn't it? Just a simple plan like that. Too bad this is my country doing this. Makes me wonder what kind of disaster is going to befall us. Just read the book of Joel. They split my land for gain. Purpose of this video is just to show you where we are through signs and wonders, right? Great is the Lord, great is his power. It's going to become so powerful, so overwhelming, that man will reflect Luke 21 as they already are, perplexed, their hearts failing them from fear. Imagine me hit with that. And they will curse God because of the plague, because the plague of the hail was so great. Whether you want to believe that a talent weighs 25 pounds or 100 pounds, they're going to be big. And as you can see, they're increasing. So that's China. This is China. I don't know if this one, I'm looking for the one that happened a few weeks ago, but they've had two. Russia, volcanoes. The one that went off 2 weeks ago was bigger than Mount St. Helens. I mean, it blew, like, at nighttime, it just blows up huge. This is another one. Kamchatka? Whatever how you pronounce it. Looks like Armageddon, man. People around the world don't know this. Not many, anyways. This one wasn't that long ago.
Indonesia's Mount Lewatobi Laki-Laki volcano erupted today, sending a column of volcanic ash as high as 18 kilometers into the sky. The volcano's alert status had been boosted to the highest level last month after an eruption in March and then in mid-June. One in November killed 9 people. Indonesia sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, an area of high seismic activity atop multiple tectonic plates. The country has more than 120 active volcanoes.
Gempa, abu, sampai gelap. Tsunami alerts issued as far away as South America. After that massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake, one of the largest ever recorded, struck off Russia's Pacific coast, sending people rushing out of crumbling buildings. Portions of this ceiling collapsing on travelers at an airport. Doctors here seen mid-surgery, desperately trying to stabilize a patient. Tremors shattering this Russian kindergarten building, the entire wall falling away. Thank God there were no children inside, he says. The quake happening along the Pacific's Ring of Fire. The first tsunami spotted in this small fishing village. You can see those buildings floating away. In Japan, millions evacuated, some flocking to rooftops. And in the U.S., tsunami warnings issued up and down the West Coast.
We decided to go to elevated ground.
Hawaii braced for the worst.
It can move cars, it will throw fences around. If it hits, it can dislodge trees.
Honolulu in gridlock as residents race to get away from the coast. Tourists at beachfront hotels forced to seek shelter above the 4th floor. Hundreds crowding in resort hallways for hours.
And what's happening now? They're waiting for a massive aftershock. Not the ones that happen. They're waiting for what they think could be up to a 7.5. I don't think I have to tell many people that it didn't happen once in New Mexico, but it happened twice.
Hour, look at this. This is just coming into us. Some of these videos here. This one shot by a person named Charlie Rivers. Look at
all
that,
of
the
this
water rushing
this month.
buildings
Everything
and
I'm showing
homes.
you is a
can
month
see
of
some
July.
the debris there as well. Let me get right to Bill Cairns. You hate to see this, Bill, as we are coming off of the 4th day, now 5th day of that flash flooding in Texas. This is not. First of all, it's daytime. It doesn't look as bad, but help us understand the risk here.
All right, so we're in New Mexico. We're in the mountains. This is near the Lincoln National Forest. And when I first saw this video, I was like, oh, this is old. This is last year. I believe it's almost from the same vantage point, the same person.
Wow.
They had a flash flood last year that was very similar to this. I was just on their Facebook group for the community there, and they're saying that this year was worse than last year. There was a fire upriver of this, and a thunderstorm, the fires take away all the vegetation.
Don't think I have to tell you much about this, Texas.
A 7.3 magnitude earthquake in Alaska this evening triggered tsunami warnings in the state. Those warnings have since been canceled in just the last hour or so, but you can see people there took that alert very seriously, moving to higher ground. The earthquake hit just off the southern coast this afternoon. It could be felt throughout the southern part of the state and the peninsula. So far, there's no word yet of any major damage.
This was before the Russian one. Very, very close in proximity. With so much going on, maybe you didn't even know about Las Vegas. There is no God. There is no judgment.
Yeah, but look at how dry the street is. I mean, other than the river, but...
An unusual and powerful stream of atmospheric moisture is driving severe weather across various regions of the United States, leading to rapidly escalating conditions in both the desert Southwest and the upper Midwest. In the Las Vegas region, strong thunderstorms are bringing heavy rainfall and a high risk of flash flooding. Nestled in a natural basin, the city is particularly susceptible to fast-moving runoff from the nearby mountains. This danger became a reality when local police rescued a woman from a rapidly moving flood channel.
God said he wouldn't flood the world again. But that's in a deluge. The whole earth. He didn't say he wouldn't flood single places. South Korea, This happened to them twice. Listen, New Mexico twice, Texas twice, South Korea twice. This month. Totally normal. We get floods all the time. We get them all the time. New York.
And roadways. Parts of
This
Pennsylvania recorded more than 7 inches of rain in less than 5 hours. Bradley Blackburn has more on the severe weather that's affecting millions.
You know what? I'm hearing things like 12 inches of rain in 8 hours. This is becoming a normal thing. That's crazy. That's insane. The amount that can happen in just a few hours.
Water surged into New York City's subway stations and right onto trains, bringing the nation's largest mass transit system to a grinding halt. Just after rush hour Monday, service was suspended on key routes. And above ground, it wasn't any better. Strong winds and heavy rain ripped through the area, with parts of multiple states under flash flood warnings. In New York Central Park, more than 2 inches were recorded in just 1 hour.
This is no joke.
New Jersey's governor declared a state of emergency. In Plainfield, houses flooded and trees toppled.
I've never seen flooding like this.
And in Scotch Plains, floodwaters stranded drivers on overwhelmed
You're going to see worse.
roadways.
The water was right here.
In the car, up to
in the car.
Rescue crews pulled this man through the water by rope. And
You cannot make this up. This is all this month, and moreover, probably in the second half of the month.
An historic flash flood killed at least 3 people in a New Mexico mountain village. Dozens of homes were damaged, streets clogged with debris. Village officials say the rain was just too much for the area to handle. And with the recent flash flooding in New Mexico and in Texas, many are wondering if we could see the same thing happen here. Fox 13 meteorologist Lona McCauley spoke with a state climatologist to learn more about our risks.
Now, you always run the risk of people making fake videos and replaying things. But look, this stuff happened. Look. Turkey. This was about 10 days ago.
In Ankara province, after a period of relentless and torrential rainfall battered the region overnight. And throughout the early morning hours. Streets turned into rivers, homes were inundated. And the residents were left grappling with the sudden devastation that unfolded in mere hours. The intense downpours which...
It's strange because I have to cut a part out of my last clip, which was Washington, and they were saying maybe we should prepare for a flood, and so maybe that was older and then they got flooded. I don't know, man, but here it is. Now, I want you guys to understand this as thoroughly as you can. I had to look because I didn't know the answer. People usually say, think of the thickness of the Earth, right? What it is to go through the whole diameter. And when you think of it, it's many thousands of miles. And I don't know, that could be 10,000 miles. So when you look at the ocean and you say, man, oh, Marianas Trench, it could be like 11 kilometers deep or something like that. But, most of the ocean is what, maybe 3 kilometers at the most or something like that? That's just a pin drop of water. A pin drop of water really is. Magma, what you're seeing here in this Kilauea, this is a sustained, think of the height of this volcano right here, which I know it's gone off a number of times. It sustained the pressure going up as tall as 120 stories. Do you understand? That's as tall as the CN Tower, taller than the Empire State Building. I think there's like at least 10 times more magma than there is water. Do you guys know that? Can you imagine what God could do with that? Crazy. And so this has been going off with all the other activity from the sun. I know it's from the sun, the magnetism. God can make anything happen. He's making the sun do that. And just think of the power of this. 120 stories tall, 1,200 feet high, sustained this month. I think it was last month too, but look.
What you are looking at is a more than 1,200 foot high sustained lava fountain generated Wednesday at Hawaii's Kilauea volcano. This spectacular feature was easily viewable by the surrounding public for a full 8 hours and 11 minutes on June 11th, with the molten rock being propelled upwards by the rapid expansion of gas in the rising magma. These lava fountains mark the 25th such episode Kilauea's summit has produced since December 23rd of last year, and specifically produced the tallest lava fountains in comparison to the other 24 cyclical events. These cycles have occurred in a fairly predictable pattern, which is described here, with each cycle lasting anywhere from 5 to 10 days during the last 4 months. This means that if you happen to be in Hawaii and the volcano's webcams show it beginning to erupt sustained small lava fountains that are increasing in height, you probably want to head over to the designated safe viewing areas within Hawaii volcanoes.
In any case, you see the strength of that. It's just amazing. You know what? I'm going to show you more stuff, but if things are this powerful now, and Jesus told us in Matthew 24 that it's just going to increase, I can't imagine what's coming. I think of where I'm living and like what could happen and stuff. And no, I'm not living in fear. It's not that way. But the whole earth groans, and now it's awoken. It can't stop. It's not going to stop from now on. But yet they don't give glory to God for his power and Jesus' sacrifice, the lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
This morning, Maryland Governor Wes Moore is slamming the Trump administration's decision to deny FEMA funding to his state. So this is in response to devastating flooding back in May. The governor had asked the federal government for millions of dollars to rebuild severely impacted roads, bridges, and also buildings in 2 counties.
I told the Trump administration directly.
Not this month,
that I
but
thought
still
this decision
flood.
was petty, that it was partisan, and that there was no basis for it. It is unprecedented for a governor of Maryland to be able to put in for emergency disaster federal relief, especially when we not just hit the criteria, we exceed the criteria.
A FEMA spokesperson telling
This was the whole administration of Biden, right? It's the same song and dance. They refused to help. I don't like this view, the thin view. I don't know why people do it so much. I'd like to see a full screenshot, but Jakarta.
Ini posisi di Jalan Tebet Timur Dalam Raya. Aduh, banjir nih di hindari jalan ini nih. Pas di depan kantor pos di Tebet Barat Dalam Raya. Hati-hati warga yang lewat sini, terutama
July
motor
6th.
mungkin tidak bisa lewat nih. Ini Ini posisi
A chaotic scene this morning in East Hollywood after a car plowed through a crowd of people leaving a nightclub. At least 30 people were injured in the early morning crash. And at one point, more than 100 firefighters were at the scene responding to the crash.
And that is where we find Eyewitness News reporter Monica Dianda. She joins us live from the scene where crews are still working to piece together what happened here. Monica?
Irene and Tony, good morning. A huge response from first responders to make sure that they treated everybody on scene. More than 30 people were injured. If you can see here behind me, they are power washing the area where this all happened off of Santa Monica and Vermont. So apparently the scene here behind me, there's a taco stand, there's a valet stand, and then that building behind us, that's a nightclub. And that is why there were so many people out here around 2 o'clock in the morning. Some were getting out of the club, some were trying to get into the club, and others were by that taco stand trying to get food when suddenly a car came and crashed into that crowd of people. Watch this.
He just smacked everybody he just smacked everybody, bro.
And you can see the chaos there. LAFD confirming around 30 people were injured when that...
This one is really bad. Viewer discretion advised on this one. Turn your heads if you don't want to see this. I'm trying to show you the world, what Paul said in 2 Timothy. Was it 2 Timothy 3? Lovers of self, boasters, proud, violent.
The initial slap and subsequent attacks on cell phones. Ken Kober says those are critical in identifying everyone involved.
They're great video that shows exactly what occurred. And I think that these people are going to be brought to justice.
There are also several city cameras in the area providing even more footage of what happened. Kober tells me investigators are doing everything they can to catch those responsible.
These investigators have been working around the clock to identify everybody that's involved, to be able to locate those people, to be able to interview them, to be able to get a true picture of exactly what occurred.
Kober says several people have offered tips about what happened and who was involved, but he says officers still need help.
There are still some people that have not been identified. And what I ask is that the public, play a part in this, because stuff like this shouldn't happen in our city. But when it does, we need people to step forward. That way we can bring these people to justice.
As crucial as these videos will be in building criminal cases, Kober says they show a disturbing reality. Recording the moment, he says, seemed to take a priority over stopping the violence. Crucial as
city, but when it does, we need people to step forward. That way we can bring these people to justice.
As crucial as these videos will be in building criminal cases, Kober says they show a disturbing reality. Recording the moment, he says, seemed to take a priority over stopping the violence.
How do you not call 911? How do you not try to render some aid? I mean, you have a woman that is knocked unconscious. It's just crazy to me that we live in
a man did that.
People would rather take video than actually try to stop something from happening or
people are
intervening
cowards,
or
man.
It's just, to me, it's pretty disgusting.
And then a guy you hear in the background, oh, this is the way people are. And by the way, that exact thing happened to me when I was 18. A group of people came after me. 13 of them, big guys, and did the very same thing to me.
This is from New York City. A gunman captured right there on surveillance images. This gunman appearing, Giovanna, to hold what appears to be maybe an assault rifle. It is believed that this individual has now committed suicide inside of a building along Park Avenue, in between Park Avenue and Lexington.
What
a
floor?
Facility that actually houses some of the country's top financial firms and the NFL. We do believe there are additionally
Freemasons.
some 2 more victims, potentially a police officer that was injured in this shooting.
Yes, and you're looking right now at live pictures from the ground. Again, this is happening in Manhattan in New York City.
Killed himself on the 33rd floor. 33-degree Freemason. I don't know any more than that, but that's very suspect. I don't think I need to tell anyone this, because you're probably in it. If you're a human being, then you're probably in it. Heat waves. They're worldwide. No, we've never seen anything like this before. And you know what I heard? I don't know much too much about this, but you can go look at on July 31st, they're turning off satellite data sharing. What does that say? You don't think that the combined powers of the world governments understand what this is? I fully believe it. I would doubt if there are any countries that don't understand something so severe has come upon the earth. I can't imagine what's next.
Several European countries with soaring temperatures fanning fires, closing schools, and breaking heat records.
Like what? England is plus 35. You're talking about it's like 100 Fahrenheit?
Dr. Samantha Burgess is the Deputy Director of the Copernicus Climate Change Program. She says Europe's infrastructure may not be equipped to deal with the unprecedented heat.
So we're seeing a record-breaking continental heat wave that's affecting large parts of Western Europe and Mediterranean Europe. And the heat wave is really caused by a combination of three different factors. One is the record high concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. The second one is the record high sea surface temperatures in the Mediterranean and other oceanic regions. And the third one is the weather system that's impacting Europe at the moment. So it's called a heat dome or a blocking high weather system, which creates a very stable, very warm environment with no wind, which is why we're seeing these heat records being broken over the last few days.
Yes, and Europe, though, isn't immune to a regular summer heat wave, but how does this compare to previous ones?
Yes, that's right. So July is normally the warmest month for
Europe 42 degrees.
The heat wave that we're seeing right now is normally
That's like
something that
110.
we would anticipate seeing towards the end of July or early August. So the record temperature for Europe was recorded on the 11th of August.
A minor phreatic eruption occurred at the Taal volcano on Thursday afternoon, July 17. Based on their review of monitoring data, PHIVOLCS says a minor phreatomagmatic eruptive events occurred at the Taal main crater between 3:01 p.m. and 3:13 p.m., consisting of 3 eruptive events that lasted 4 to 6 minutes. According to PHIVOLCS, these events were preceded by a strong tremor and produced a plume that rose 2,400 meters above the main crater lake before drifting southeast. A phreatomagmatic eruption happens when erupting magma comes into contact with water. According to PHIVOLCS.
Now this is worrisome. This one truly is worrisome. When there are earthquakes are caused by magma rising in most cases, other than stress and rocks and fractures. This one, what's it called? Campi Flegrei, is a supervolcano. And they've been getting them 4.5. They know magma's rising. If this thing was to go off, it could change one side of the world. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I hate to say this because it's really such a beautiful area. I'm talking about Naples, Italy, but what the scientists are saying is true, and unfortunately it doesn't help not to say it. The densely populated area of Naples with over 6 million people. Naples in Italy is lying between the supervolcano Campi Flegrei and Vesuvius, a monster that can do a lot of damage. That area, guys, here it comes, is one of the most hazardous regions in the world. And now, scientists have been studying both volcanoes because they have been looking for potential interactions. And that is circling around for a while. Like Campi Flegrei is rumbling, we see earthquakes at Vesuvius. So are they connected? Do they share a magma chamber? Can they trigger each other? the subsidences, the land rises and subsidences that are happening at both volcanoes in patterns, is that connected? Is there something underground that connects them? And what's the danger of that? There's new information that I have for you guys. So let's have a closer look. This is really, really interesting. Scientists have looked at heritage data, how they call this. Envisat missions. They have compared satellite pictures. They have studied possible interactions between these two volcanic landforms. And if you look at that picture here behind me,
I'll just stop her there. She's actually very good. What's it called? On the Pulse with Nikki? It's quite evident that this supervolcano, she said Vesuvius is a monster, and it is, but it doesn't come close to comparing to Campi Flegrei because it's a supervolcano. Also, not to mention, so magma is rising. They know that. They just, where is it? What's going to happen? I don't know. The Pacific Northwest, I don't want to go much further in my videos because I got a study here, but the Pacific Northwest, right? They know a volcano is going to go. They're waiting for it any day, they're saying. Because they can see the stress. They can see the rises and the falls of the seafloor or whatever, the steam. They have ways of measuring this. And we've been waiting for that for a while. And how will I finish this? If you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you're in trouble. You hear me? You're in trouble if you don't believe in Jesus Christ. He is the way, the truth, and the life. There is no way to the Father but by Him. You know Him, you know the Father. You confess Jesus, Jesus will confess you to His Father. That's the way it is. We're approaching the very end. How do I know? From the obvious signs. This was just July. And there's more here on my list. It's all here. The way people are, the birth pains, and also the political. They want to get under our skin. They want to surveil us. I believe God is getting angry because they're starting to get into certain positions like the World Economic Forum saying, we want to get under your skin. Like Minority Report type of thing. We want to know your thoughts. They actually are getting closer to that. Mark of the Beast, all those things. I hope to God I don't have to say no to the Mark of the Beast. I hope we're simply not here for that. I will never deny my Lord, but in any case, find yourself prepared. People who are prepared are the best equipped. I wanted to do this video to show you there is no other way out. There is no other way out. The heat here is unbelievable. I live in Canada. I live in the north. We're having days of like 40 degrees, 110 degrees, man. And not much rain at all. Our storm systems have changed. Just like I heard on Eek Acres. The guy said, well, number one, the sun is a lot stronger than it used to be. I can see it. You can't look at it. Like, it's not orange anymore. It's really bright. If it storms, you get a day that's like 110 degrees. And you won't even get daytime heating. I live on a monster river where you would see it building and building a supercell higher and higher. I love that stuff. We don't really see that anymore. We had a storm last week, and there was the first one like that in so long. I was just with my brother. He said we're in a drought I didn't even recognize. This is a world now. Things are going to start to die. This is God's anger. Splitting the land. Splitting the land. They're not all Israel that say they're Israel. So remember, the Israelites, there will be a remnant saved, but it says they're children of the flesh. They may be seeds of Abraham, right? We are all the seed of Abraham. But are you of the spirit or of the flesh? They don't believe in Jesus Christ. And unfortunate things are going to happen there. They're going to get trampled over, man. 2/3 will die, 1/3 will be saved. It's coming. Something's coming. All these things are coming, and it's very evident.